Hi everybody, I'm Zura and today we are here for a new tank review, and the guest star of this review is the Tier 10 American heavy tank T110E5. Okay, T110E5. This tank is one of the most wishable tank of the recent past, just because was an invincible fighting machine. But after patch 9.17, Wargaming decided to lower a little bit the performance of this beast, just because it was almost an unbeatable steel monster. But I think that at the current time we can find all the same quality in this tank. He's a real good versatile warrior. I don't know why many Clone Wars experts don't want this tank anymore on the battlefield, but just before see how he can perform in battle as after the nerf, let's go and check the statistic of this beast, and then we can go inside the battle. And here we are now currently on patch 9.19.1, and in the comparison I have added the tank that can perform the same role. The E5 is a unique tank at tier 10, because all the other are more specialistic, super heavy German style tank or low profile Russian beast, and the E5 is just an in-between type. And I have chosen the E100 with a small gun just because it shares a closer gun depression, because in my opinion a versatile warrior has to be good in every environment. And the brand new WZ5A that has the same gun depression. This is a brand new tank and probably is together with the E5 one of the most versatile tanks. So we are going to call the E5 just E5 and the 5A just the 5A and E100, okay, for making the review a little bit easier, just because my English sucks a bit. And the firepower of those machines, we have the 5 in the middle between E100 and the 5A. The 5A has an amazing DPM, damage per minute. The penetration of the E5 is excellent, and all these machines have better penetration with premium ammo. Let's check the premium ammo of all the three machines. Hit ammo, high explosive anti-tank for E5 and the 5A, we respectively 340 and 340, and the E100 fall at the bottom for the premium round penetration, but he has APCR, faster bullets, and no problem against the spaced armor and so on. Let's go and check the gun handling, and we can see that the E5 had the better gun handling among the three, and faster aim time, better accuracy, and lower dispersion moving the tank, turning the tank, and turning the turret is almost the same for all the three tanks. So the E100 is a little bit better but loose on the other, so I think that the E100 has the worst gun among the three. And then for the mobility, a versatile warrior has to be mobile, and the E5 is not the fastest, but falls behind the 5A, even with the reverse speed. But the power to weight ratio is the best, so the acceleration is the best among the three. The terrain resistances are not so awful, but not as good as the E100, not as good as the 5A. But another important element is the turning of the tank and the turning of the traverse, the turret traverse. So the overall mobility of the E5 probably can be addressed as the second of the tanks, just because the 5A has a very good top speed and very good power to weight and very good tank traverse. Only the turret is a little bit stacked into the hull. The 100 is a super heavy, 130 tons, is the slowest among those tanks. Then the D armor, that is a really important parameter in an heavy tank. We have the E100 with the massive armor all around, but on paper we can see that the turret of the 5A is better, and the turret armor of the E5 seems not as good as the other, but don't get fooled by the rough numbers, because we have to check the armor scheme of the turret to see if these 200 millimeters can be enough to tank to receive hit from enemies. The whole armor is pretty damn good, very good view range for all three tanks, and the fire resistance is really bad for E5. Don't forget to put a fire extinguisher on your E5. Very good on the 5A and standard for the E100. Let's go and check the suggested equipment for this tank. Vertical stabilizer, ventilation and gun rammer to maximize the firepower. The view range is pretty damn good. You can take away the ventilation and go for coated optics, so you can go close the cap view range. And then let's check the armor model. The armor model, we can see that the 200 millimeter of turret armor is enough, just because the turret shape is very well angled. So looking at the front of the E5, we can see 600, 500, 700 turret armor. Even the mantlet is pretty damn strong, and the upper plate is really tough, really tough. The weak spot of this tank frontally are the lower plate as usual and the turret cupola. I have said at the beginning that this tank was pretty amazing in 917, and we can see the differences. In 917 the cupola was better armored, 260 millimeter of armor in the weak spot, and the weak spot was really small. In 919.1 we have huge weak spot and only 240 millimeters of armor, so it can be damaged with standard ammo from tier 10 tanks. The lower plate is the same, but he has lost a magical spaced plate on the corner of the wheel, this one. When the D5 was placed in this way, we can find, look at this, sometimes we can see a huge value or ricochet or no penetration at all. With the latest patch, this plate was removed, and you can track and damage the tank easily, okay, because a small plate is missing in this point. Otherwise the tank is the same. No side armor, no rear armor, no top armor. So play this tank frontally, or better, play this tank in hull down, covering the lower plate. Use this side of the tank for your hull down, just because the cupola weak spot became a little bit smaller. If you go hull down on the other side, cupola is a more easy target. Okay, this tank still have an amazing frontal armor. This tank has mobility, This tank has a very good and reliable gun. So now let's go and check how it performs on the battlefield. And here we are on the steps. Okay, I don't know in English. In Italian is steppe. And I'm playing together with a friend of mine, Ivan Dragon, and the replay is coming directly from Ivan Dragon just because me have played like a moron, and I was killed in the first beginning of the battle, my fault. But at the same time, my friend Ivan, that kindly have given me this replay, have done pretty well in the E5. He has started more cautiously than me. The Zura Moron have just taken the first shot on the side by the Centurion Action X. We are moving together on the valley. Let's scale a little bit the minimap. That is the key tactical tool of World of Tanks. I suggest to everybody to scale your minimap at the highest rate possible, just because it's really a key value to understand where enemy are, how the battle goes, and when it's necessary to change position, came back, defend the base, or push. So remember, minimap as big as possible. And we are going on this ridgeline. We have found no resistances, and here Zura is going to make his first mistakes because he was too sure that the amazing armor of the E5 can withstand the fire of these monstrous tank destroyers. The enemy FV have one-shooted our WZ-111. There are two English monster gun, but they have also, look at the Moron Zura that lost more than 1000 HP in 1 second, done by Grill and 113 Chinese Heavy. Zura is going back, trying to hold the fire of those guys. Otherwise, our Ivan is holding a better place, more covering, and he's looking around to find the right target, just because the enemy team, look at the Grilly, keep shooting at the armor of Ivan. Look at the shot in the upper plate. There's a barrel, reinforced steel barrel. The standard round of the German tank destroyer can go through the E5 frontal armor. And now the situation is in a glued state, just because many tank destroyers crawling this area. Is better to change position. Both Zura and Ivan decided to change position because it's really dangerous. Our team is melting away like snow on over the sun. And here it comes, the first targets for our Ivan. Both the two Chinese heavy tank, well armored and well angled. The first shot didn't go through. The battle is almost over. 1-6, you can see how desperate the situation is in this moment. And here we are. The first shot for our E5. Zura is still holding the ridgeline, but is a very dangerous position because he is pretty damn alone. I think that I'm going to die. Okay, I'm just dead. Killed by the FV, the English FV tank destroyer. And now, in this desperate situation, our Ivan have to hold all the enemy team. And the better thing is just to wait and let them come out, because it's not good to go and take away from from their base. The tank destroyer, they are well hidden, they have distance, they have open field protecting them, and the first guy that came out was struck and killed by our Ivan. Very good job. Look at the gun. It's accurate, fast aiming time and low dispersion. The DPM is not the best like the VZ5A, but 8 seconds, it's a pretty damn good rate of fire. 400 alpha damage. The Chinese counterpart has a bigger gun with a strong punch, and probably the rate of fire is almost the same. The WZ fire in 9 seconds, just because it has 490 alpha damage. And now Ivan is trying to fire at 360 degrees because enemy are closing a circle around him. Our team is trying to hold position. This time our tank destroyer are doing a very nice job holding the north part of the map, while Ivan can try to hold alone together with the WZ111, the tier 9 is trying to hold the south that is crowded by tank destroyed. Okay, now it's up to the WZ14, the Chinese tier 9. The armor of this tank is not good enough to withstand the fire of the E5, and Ivan took away the second tank in this battle. He's doing a good job, he's taking care of his hit points, he's moving fast and forward, fast and front and back in this line 8, just to provide support fire in both directions. And this is the key feature of the E5. The E5 is the versatile warrior. He has enough armor, enough gun, enough mobility to hold every situation in the game. And this one is probably my favorite tier tank, heavy tank, because he has no really damn weak points. German super heavy are good. I love Panzer, the brand new Panzer 7, I love it. But it's a slow tank, well armored, nice gun, but it's too slow. The E5 has mobility, has a fairly good armor, and the gun is very good. It's accurate, penetration, rate of fire. Now he's taking some risk, but Ivan knows that the English tank destroyer has a very bad gun depression, so he's trying to lure him out of the ridgeline. Now that all are spotted, he can try to make some serious damage to those guys. Those guns are not accurate. I was killed just because I was too still in my position before. This is the wrecked dead piece of Zura. And now Ivan is using some premium round to reliably go through those tanks, not necessarily with the grilly, but he has no time to change the ammo type. He needs to do as more damage as possible against those monsters. The FV changed in AP round just to go reliably through the armor. Look, this monster tank destroyer decided to change ammo type just because the premium ash round can only scratch the surface, probably doing 500 damage to the grit frontal armor of the E5. And very good job of our Ivan that working on the ridgeline like a real boss. The E5 is a real ridgeline warrior using the frontal armor covering the lower plate. Not too scared about being hit in the weak spot. Look, the FV-103 tried to shoot at the weak spot, but the unreliable gun of the English tank destroyer have few chance of doing damage on the small tank destroyer, even because our Ivan is moving continuously, making the weak spot really hard to be hit by an unreliable gun. Now the north side held by our tank destroyer was conquered by enemies, and our Ivan is trying to take it back alone. T49 comes to hide our friend. He need to go over the ridgeline, but there are two scaring tanks ready to fire. The Type 4 has explosive round, and Ivan decided not to risk a big part of his hit points in trying to face two dangerous tanks. Nice decision. He changed position and shoot and kill the Japanese super heavy with a premium round, and now it's the time of the T10, the Soviet, the Russian tier 9. The disarmament one shot. It's really important to take away these guys, and he succeeded. Look, the E5 took another shot, 2700 damage, and now the situation is 2 versus 1. The Grilly, another ricochet. Look at the frontal armor of this tank, that is really amazing. I don't know why Clan Wars tacticians don't want this tank in battle. Nice maneuver, but he lose a track. He succeeded in taking away the DK4502B, and now he's one-on-one. Probably no chance for Grilly because the turret is not completely traversable, and he can't. I don't know where this round goes, but an HE shell, desperate last shot from the Grilly, and this is a real nice battle. 8 kill, 6,000, more than 6,000 damage, and a real example of how good is this tank. Mobility, armor, good rate of fire, good gun handling. Let's go and check the post-game stat, and here we have the post-game stat of our Ivan. This is a mastery, a lot of minor achievements, and then okay, a pretty good Radley Walter for the 8 killed, and a Top Gun for 6 kill. Now let's go and check. 6,500 damage, close to 1,400 experience. And the detailed report, we can see, okay, a credit loss just because our Ivan was compelled to shoot some premium round to super heavy tank and super armored enemies in a very bad situation. So nice choice in my opinion. In this situation you don't have to make mistake. 27 hit, 18 penetration, a very good battle that show us how good is this tank. A 360 degrees tank for her purpose, one of the best heavy tank for random battles, and in my opinion it deserves to be used on Clan Wars sometimes instead of 113 or the new WZ5A. Even for this review, it's all. I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to leave a like, that helps the channel out. At the next review by Yo Azzurra. Bye guys!